Peace to anyone comes in this late evening. I'm gonna do a quick preview on these people that let's just watch and see.
On this little tour, we're going out to the Great Wild West, to Indian Territory. And I think there'll be room for all of you. But to be sure, I'll look over the reservations.
Hello, Mr. Medberry.
It's Elsie, the dumb dame. She was born without brains, and the mistake has never been rectified.
I'd like to go along with you to this Indian country. I've never seen any red caps.
Well, be quiet then, while I explain this trip to the folks. Just pick out one of these horses, and we'll be on our way.
All right. I want that one over there.
You mean that dray horse?
Oh, Mr. Medberry, it sounds so funny to hear you speak baby talk. That isn't a dray horse. It's a brown one.
On our way into the Pueblo country, we came across a herd of sheep.
My uncle owns a lot of sheep.
Is that so? How many head?
They each have one.
The grazing here is not very good. In fact, the land is so poor that the sheep grow cotton instead of wool. Here we are in the village. Notice how deserted the streets are, but there's a reason for it. The chief has just bought a new automobile, and his wife is learning to drive it today. We called on several of the natives, but nobody was at home. The only person we could find was a disappointed bride, returning from an elopement.
My sister was hurt once in an elopement.
Your sister was hurt in an elopement?
Yeah, she stepped out of the window and was badly injured.
How could she be injured stepping out of the window onto a ladder?
That's just it. Her sweetheart was a plumber, and he'd forgotten to bring the ladder.
At the next house, we met Chief Rain in the Face and his wife, April Showers.
Gosh, what funny names. I wonder what my name would be if I were an Indian.
They'd probably call you Princess Water on the Brain. Well, here's Big Chief Wolf at the door. He is very proud over the fine showing that his wife made in the Olympic Games. She took first prize in the blessed events. And this is their papoose.
Their what?
Papoose. Don't you know what a papoose is?
Certainly. Everybody knows what a papoose is. It's the last call on a freight train.
A pretty little Indian maiden comes out to meet us. It looks like Watha. I think I'll speak to her. Hi, Watha.
Hi, Medberry.
And this is her sweetheart. Notice the fuzz on his upper lip. For months, he's been trying to raise a mustache, and finally came the down. He's getting it on the installment plan. A little down and a little more each week. In another corner of the yard, the natives are busy in the sand, making patterns for Navajo rugs.
Gee, they must have had to eat a lot of spinach to get all that sand.
Elsie, I think you're an ignoramus.
Oh, Mr. Medberry, I'll bet you tell that to all the girls.
You talk like a perfect idiot.
Yeah, isn't it wonderful? And I never took a dramatic lesson in my life.
On our way out of the village, we met the local weather prophet, who told us that it would rain before night.
Yeah, and they need the rain. An hour's rain now would do more good in 5 minutes than a month of it would do in a week at any other time.
In the next village, we met an entirely different tribe of Indians. Some of these foreigners understood English, and we were forced to speak Pig Latin so that they wouldn't know what we were talking about. Do you etch-ke-anke uteig peatenle? I wonder what tribe this effeminate-looking Indian belongs to. He's probably one of the Iroquois. We happened to look up, and there, standing on top of Signal Mountain, were Chief Running Water and his 2 sons, clean and dirty. They are calling the natives to arms.
You mean there's going to be a battle?
Yes, there's only one way that they can save their teepees, so they've declared war on the building and loan. Ah, Running Water is now joined by his 2 daughters, Hot and Cold. They're looking around the corner for prosperity, but they can't even find the corner. All the famous warriors are turning out. There's Sitting Bull standing over there. I don't know whether you folks know it or not, but Sitting Bull has a very beautiful daughter. Her name is Sitting Pretty. Do you know who Sitting Bull is, Elsie?
Certainly. He was the first man to buy a suit with 2 pairs of pants.
No, you're wrong. Sitting Bull was married to Minnie Haha, the daughter of Laughing Water, and together they raised a family of little gigolos. A snake dance always precedes a battle, so trouble is not far off.
Gee, Mr. Medberry, I'm scared. The Indians might scalp me.
Well, let them scalp you. They won't find anything. You're right. I'm afraid of a massacre.
Gosh, you pronounce words the funniest way. You mean mascara.
Don't worry, though, Elsie. I know how to handle these redskins. My grandfather was a famous Indian killer. Many a time he went out by himself and shot 10 or 15 bucks.
That was a lot of money in those days.
He was an expert with a bow and arrow.
Isn't that a coincidence? The woman next door to me is taking lessons on the bow and arrow. Maybe your grandfather would come over and help her.
My grandfather is dead.
Well, don't bother him then.
My, just look at those Indians dance.
Gosh, I wish they'd stop it. They're driving me out of my mind.
They're what?
They're driving me out of my mind.
That isn't a drive. That's only a putt. Animals can sense trouble quicker than human beings. Look at that buffalo, Elsie.
Yeah, that reminds me, Mr. Medberry, you owe me a nickel.
The rest of the herd sense trouble, too, and they start stampeding. Would you like to go out with me someday, Elsie, and hunt buffalo on horseback?
Gee, I'm not that dumb. Anybody knows that buffaloes don't ride horseback.
For hours, the Indians kept up their war dance. The leader, Big Chief Run on the Bank, is organizing his warriors for an attack against the building and loan. They have decided on the hour and will strike at exactly 6%. The Redskins are very restless and are counting the minutes. One moment, please, while we broadcast the signals. When you hear the gong, it will be exactly 5:45, Sitting Bull of a time. The men began shooting and fired volley after volley. Another shot rang out, and another redskin bit the dust. There's another shot, and another redskin bit the dust. 2 more shots, and 2 more redskins bit the dust.
Gee, they're biting pretty good today, aren't they?
Being unable to seize the fort, the Indians try to capture the town. One of the warriors is very polite. Before he scalps a man, he always asks, "Shall I take a little off the top, sir?"
What's that man moaning about, Mr. Medberry?
He's a Scotchman and is broken-hearted. He just spent 50 cents for a haircut before this massacre.
Look, some woman is hurt, and the finance company is carrying her.
That's nothing. The finance companies are carrying everybody nowadays. Come on, Elsie. Let's get out of here. Elsie. Elsie, where are you?
Over here on this horse.
Wait a minute, folks. Elsie has been captured by a young Indian chief. I must go to her rescue. Be brave, Elsie. Be brave. I'll save you.
Careful, Paleface. Red men got you covered.
Why don't you let her go and take one of your own tribe?
Indian like girl. So Indian no give her up. Me take her home. Make her my squaw.
The girl has something to say about it. Speak, Elsie. Won't you speak to me?
Sure. Why don't you leave this Indian alone, Mr. Medberry? He's running this massacre.
And so, on his pony, the Indian takes Elsie back to his wigwam, where forever after she will listen to her massacre's voice.
Okay, I got something else for y'all. This is crazy. I was looking at some of these old. I'm gonna say. I'm gonna call them. What do you call them? what would we call them? Theatrics. Things of that nature. Hold on one second. There's definitely a couple. I have to show you guys. This is crazy. These pale ass Indians. Hold on a second. I'm coming right now. Exactly, sis, ain't it? Watch this though. When y'all see the theatrics of this shit, it's just so crazy, baffling. Cause people couldn't really act then. You had to go to like artistry school to learn how to act, and acting school and things of that nature, right? Let's check this out.
There were two people, a man by the name of Weinald Rice. He was mostly a portraiture artist. He was hired by the Great Northern Railway to paint pictures of these last of the buffalo days, lived the old way of life. And they were some of the same people that you see in the photos that were photographed by a man whose last name was Heilman. So he documented them by portraits. They made calendars, they made playing cards and promotional items. And he photographed many of these people, White Calf, Fur Dapper, all of them that were being painted by Weinald Rice were being photographed by Heilman. And then, of course, there was a couple other photographers that were documenting these people, and they were the ones that were going up to the park and camping in the summertime.
That's where most pictures were taken. These were circulated around. Some were put on postcards. Of course, a lot of them ended up in photo studios,
They hired them to greet the trains, drive people around in cars. To set up a teepee encampment behind the big hotel in East Glacier Park so that the tourists could come by and look at the Indians. In some ways, very humiliating just to satisfy the curiosity of the traveler.
Well, there were teepee camps all over back in there. They had a regular village. And the tourists would go right back there and visit with them. That was the way a lot of the tourists were able to learn a little bit about the Blackfeet. They liked that because they were able to wear their moccasins, and dress up in their regalia. This was a way for them to live the life that they enjoyed living. One of the people involved in it was Theodore Lastar. He was kind of ahead of it at that time. You can find these pictures just about every studio. James Hill on the railroad, he's the one that promoted the tourism for Glacier National Park. This was a way promoting tourism was using the Blackfeet people. Hill took a lot of the old Indian people back, to Chicago, one of those big cities, and introduced them to the people, and then brought them back. And then, of course, the tourists the following summer wanted to continue talking with a lot of the Indians. And this was the way they promoted tourism in this part of the country.
So they're painting the pictures of people, taking photographs of the people. They're having the people up at the park. The Blackfeet were in Glacier Park before James Hill wanted it to be one of his draws for his tourist attractions. So all of these things are going on. In the meanwhile, the Blackfeet on the reservation are starving in a terrible economic condition.
James Willard Schultz, he was a writer from back east that came out here around 1888. He lived among the Blackfeet, and he learned the language very quickly, and he could speak it very fluently. He spent about 15 to 20 years with the Blackfeet. He married a Blackfeet woman. Phillips wrote a lot of stories. One of the better-known books that he's written is called My Life as an Indian. And it pretty much tells the history and culture of the Blackfeet Indian people in this area. He was a very well-known writer, and he left the reservation for some years. And eventually he came back, and he died. They buried him right under a buffalo jump on the Two Medicine River. That's where his gravesite is. That's the history of Willard Phillips, book writer, author on the Blackfeet in particular. Judas Whitecaps was a very known Blackfeet among the Plains Indian tribe. In fact, he was known by several tribes, not only Blackfeet. Very famous Blackfeet, very famous warrior. He was a celebrity among the Blackfeet simply because he was so well known. In fact, his profile, several chiefs of the Sioux and Cheyenne, and Two Guns was one of the chiefs that was close to that Buffalo Nickel profile. Her name was Daisy North, and she was Pagan. The white men named her Princess Dawn Mist, but that wasn't her real name. Her real name was Daisy North. She was raved over by tourists to the Glacier National Park as one of the most beautiful Indian maidens. Around 1913, she was offered a position as a telephone operator at a big hotel in the park, so she accepted it. She heard there was going to be a suffrage pageant at Washington of that year when she was hired to be a telephone operator, so she wanted to go. She talked to her dad about it. They wanted her to march in a parade, so he gave his permission, and she was kind of a prominent figure in that parade. That's what the newspapers back east wrote. They could have printed pictures of her, and she became famous almost overnight. They took her to Spokane to an Indian powwow up there to show her off. Daisy North married Bill Gillum. Bill and Daisy had 5 sons who served in World War II. That's who that postcard is about. In 1916, I believe that's the time they had Glacier Park taking pictures of some of the prominent warriors of that time. His name was Bighorn. They called him Jack Bighorn. That picture was taken in a studio in Browning. He was married to yellow petrified rock. About that time that picture was taken, he was about 67 years old. He was a Blackfeet warrior. In 1900, he went on one of the last war trails before the Indians started being at peace with each other. He went on a horse race among the Sioux and Crees. The story goes like this. Somewhere down close to the Sweetgrass Hills, along the Missouri River, there was a Sioux and Cree camp. The Sioux and Cree horses were picketed near the camp. Big Mean and 2 of his friends went into the camp and cut the horses loose, took took them up across the river, and then the Sioux party found out about the horses and chased them. One of the Sioux chiefs was killed by a big one, and his horse was shot out from under him, so Big Moon jumped on the back of the horse with one of his friends, and they rode double. When they crossed the river with their horses, they gave up on them because they had too far of a head start. So what happened is the horses that they took, Big Moon got off and double with the other rider that picked him up and caught one of the horses they just took. They made it back to their camp safely. And this is a short story of some of these exploits. He had a robe that had his war record painted on, you know. It was in his family, and they all died out. So it was taken by the Smithsonian. Harold Topknot. He was probably about 70 years old in 1920. It was kind of hard to really get their ages because they didn't have a written language and dates were never kept. But as close as they figure, he was about 70. He was one of the old-time warriors that lived in the Buffalo days. According to him and Lazy Boy, another warrior, went on a raid against the Crows on the Yellowstone. And on that raid, Earl Pup and Lazy Boy took 25 head of horse, then started to run toward the Yellowstone. And Lazy Boy dropped his gun and lost one of his leggings. When they lose a leg, it's tied to their belt and their bridge cloth. Evidently, it come on tight, and they swam the river with their horses, and the leggings floated away. When they got to the other side, they found two Blackfeet bodies that had been killed by the Crows. The way Earl Cop told it, of course, there's a lot of broken English in it. These two bodies gave them an eerie feeling. So they traveled at night. They stayed hidden in the daytime. They lived only on berries and small rodents that they could catch or snare. It was hard to bring a whole bunch of horses out in the open like that. Out on the plains, there ain't very many trees. So the Black Horse and the Horse, they net them together. The two leaders, they net together and kept them in a big brush where they couldn't be seen. They had to find all the hiding places they could. And they were good at reading terrain and rivers. They didn't have compasses. They just used the way the land lay. And that's where they were able to find their way back. It was pretty hard for them to take a bunch of horses, and they had to be always on the move until they got back to their camp with their horse. And they made it back to camp. And that's pretty much what Earl Topknot was about. He was quite a warrior in his day. Everything in nature is sacred. In Native American culture, they show respect and honor to all living creatures. The Blackfeet people have a spiritual culture connection to the world around them, to Glacier National Park. They call this the backbone of the world. We have to take care of what is around. You have to listen to what it has to say. You listen to the wind blowing through the crevice of the rocks. This sort of songs come to the Indian people. You can actually hear songs coming from the mountain. When they sit around a powwow, all of a sudden the guy starts out on a song. Somebody says, "Hey, I never heard that song before. Where did it come from?" And you'd say, "From the spirits." What he meant by that is he was out meditating, and all of a sudden the song came to him. Maybe the wind blowing through the trees and the leaves rattling started originating in his mind. he was able to hum along and sing along, and all of a sudden a song just surfaced from that. Chief Oliver was a man who prayed for young warriors that went on vision quests. The vision quest can be explained in many different ways. It's a powerful spiritual life of most Plains Indians, if not all tribes. It provides access to supernatural powers that can be found in sacred places. Our elders tell us that our creators of all things, rocks, mountains, trees, water, all of these, have a spirit. And because they have a spirit, mysteriously powers exist in them. And that's what Chief Oliver was known for. These vision quests, he prayed for the young warriors that wanted to go on vision quests. Pray for them to have success, that they'd be able to dream of a power coming to them in the form of an animal. All powers come from the Creator. And it manifests itself in all kinds of different ways, like a strong wind, the sun, the moon, certain rocks, animals, and trees. Sometimes a special mountain or special lake. They're sure that all of these contain powers of some kind. Other places might be taboo or dangerous, like grave sites. These places have bad spirits. If you don't behave in a normal way, or don't pray, or even offering the power can harm you. And Chief Oliver was known for that, being able to tell the young warriors certain places to go to find their spiritual helper. You know, I always tell young people, there is no known security in our lives in the wilderness. A forest fire or war could put man back to savagery. And that's one of the reasons why Indian people were so spiritual and religious. And that's important to know. When the railroad came through here, they wondered how it got on through their lands because no one ever told them about it. At that time, they were all swept up and taken back east. And of course, they were eating good, riding train, and this was something new to them. Remember, these people were plains, you know, they lived on the plains. And to have something like this happen to them, it was kind of astonishing to them, you know. They didn't know what to think of it.
No, it didn't help us at all. Focus is on Glacier National Park when people come here. Being in the tourism business, I can tell you that that's where most of the visitors go. They don't stop in the reservation. They go up into the park. We have over 50% unemployment.
We still wear the same type of clothing. Designs are pretty much the same. What changed, the people are losing interest in their culture. And we've lost a lot of it. And it's up to us elders to try to keep it intact. That's what I do. Tell the young people, you know, we have a unique culture. We have people who want to know about our culture. And we don't have the people to tell them about it because they don't know nothing about it. You know how to dance. You know how to sing. You know how to talk the language. But where did it all originate? They don't know none of this. You have to feel the land you're walking over to see it, to live with it. There is a difference. Many look but don't see. But Indian people, we hear with our eyes, nose, hands. We use all five senses when we're in the wilderness. We don't miss out on nothing. And that's why we're connected to this land. My uncle used to tell us Native Americans out there on the plains may not have reading or math skills to learn, but he had the alphabet and calculations of the wilderness and plains around him. And this could involve 1,000 signs of any combination of which he must act upon in order that he must triumph and live.
So, when you look at the real, I'm gonna show you guys something else real quick, right? When they're talking about, oh, they had trains. Oh my God! Now, first off, we had trains for hundreds of years before these people even came here. So, what are they even talking about? Let's clarify something real quick. When they came here, they didn't even know how the trains were working because they blew up everything, tore down everything, trying to rebuild everything. See what they did? Look, just look. Look at this. These are the trains, right? They were using horses to pull the train. This is where horsepower. When we hear horsepower, they think, oh, that means a fast car. You know, that means that it's going quick and so on and so forth. No, look. They were pulling the trains on the tracks with horses, the dimwits, because they did not know how everything was working with the electricity because they had torn up so many things. So when they started trying to rebuild, they were trying to use the tracks and things. You see? You guys see? They started using the tracks, but they were having the horses pull them until they figured out how to make everything work with the electricity because we were using free energy and they didn't understand how it worked. But when they tore down certain things, they destroyed a lot of the technology and things. And of course, our ancestors would not show them or help them, to figure it out. So they had to figure it out on their own. So yeah, they struggled. See? You see what they was doing? Do y'all see this? Let me get to the chat real quick. Do y'all see this? Yes, clairvoyance, telepathy. We also have certain discernments. You know, that feeling you get in a pit of your stomach that tells you stuff, warnings. I mean, there's so many things that we have that these people could never tap into. Like, never. Yeah, so this is the real horsepower. They didn't even know what to do with the trains. We had the tracks and everything here, but they didn't know what to do. They couldn't figure it out. They could not figure it out. See, they had to use the horses, so on and so forth. Yeah, just to verify that these people didn't know what they were doing at the time. So, how did they build tracks if they didn't even know how they were working? How could they build tracks if they did not know how to work them? If they had to have the horses pull the buggies and the train carts on the track? Imagine the strength of them horses pulling them trains, literally pulling the whole caboose. That was crazy. Pulling those things, right? But if y'all created the railroad and the train tracks and all of these things, you would know how to do that, right? That would be like common sense, like really common sense, right? Exactly, the patent office. I showed a book before, Nova, with oh my gosh, there's so many patents in that book, all within a 2 year time. How could you create so many things within a 2 years time? Doesn't like make much sense. Um, check this out. I want y'all to see some of these roads, right? And then I'm gonna read a little bit. I want y'all to see a little bit of this though. Let's check this out.
metropolis of the Western world. To the visitor who comes by land, by air, or from the sea, a romantic panorama of towering spires and massive structures. A great city, a monument to man's imagination, testimony to his achievement. The home of 6 million people, it is also the financial and commercial capital of the entire world. Throughout the 5 counties which comprise New York City, evidence may be seen of the permanent improvements brought about by a great program which has removed thousands from relief roads. On Governor's Island, at the tip of Manhattan, important roads have been built and several buildings have been reconstructed. At the Brooklyn Navy Yard, a number of roads have been constructed and shops and warehouses are being built or improved. In this project, WPA labor is used and funds and materials are provided by the Navy Department. At Sheepshead Bay in Brooklyn, improvements have been undertaken in which are combined many of the important features of the Works program. An area which was formerly undeveloped is the scene of a project in which employment is provided for both skilled and unskilled workers. A long bulkhead was built to reclaim land from the waters of the bay. The sanitary facilities of the area were greatly improved by the extension and reconstruction of sewers. A boulevard is being constructed on the new land filled in behind the bulkhead. As traffic in the city has become increasingly heavy, the streetcar lines in operation for years have given way to more flexible systems of transportation. In Manhattan alone, over 40 miles of track have been removed by WPA laborers. As part of an extensive park development program, 11 large swimming pools are being provided for public use, and completely equipped bathhouses are under construction to make the pools accessible to thousands of New Yorkers. The demolition of buildings along the path of the new East River Drive has been completed, and sewers, water mains, and electric conduits have been reconstructed. This project now continues with the construction of 2 3-lane highways flanked by broad sidewalks and landscaped parks. The program of civic improvement has been advanced by this project, which will provide a new traffic artery along the East River from Grand Street to 14th Street. Eventually, the drive will connect with the Triborough Bridge at 125th Street. The New York Public Library is one of the greatest collections of literary treasures in the world. When the imposing Central Branch was erected many years ago, it was provided with a copper roof, which has recently become dangerously corroded. The Works program has undertaken to construct a new roof of non-corroding metal and to rebuild the heating system as part of a project to repair and improve the building and its equipment. Extensive and important improvements have been made under the Works program at Floyd Bennett Airport on Jamaica Bay in Brooklyn. Air transport facilities have been increased with adequate provision for the largest land and seaplanes. Many novel devices, such as this ingenious turntable, have been provided, but most of the work has been basic construction. Machine shops have been constructed, the main heating plant was rebuilt, concrete runways were laid, and radio beacons and lighting facilities are being completed. New York City has never heretofore had a first-class airport which satisfied the requirements of the government for air, mail, and passenger use. When this project is finished, Floyd Bennett Airport will receive a Class A rating from the Department of Commerce. Air taxi service from Manhattan Island to Floyd Bennett and other airports in the metropolitan area has been made possible by the construction of 2 skyports on the East River. One is located at 31st Street and another at Wall Street. As an aid to city planning, a great-scale model of the metropolitan area is being constructed by architects, artists, professional workers, and technicians removed by WPA from relief roads. In this model, built in cooperation with New York University, each individual building in Greater New York is reproduced in miniature. With this type of assembly, changes brought about by city development will be accurately reflected. Relief maps are also being made by the Cartographic Survey for educational use. In a federal art project, sculpture is being produced for schools and public buildings. Under the Works program, artists, actors, writers, and musicians contribute their share to the cultural development of the community. To make books more readily available, WPA has increased the staffs of free libraries. The highly specialized art of creating stained glass windows, mastered by a few artists in the world, is fostered by WPA and windows for the United States Military Academy at West Point. Here, too, a vast mural painting has been completed. The Works program has sponsored symphony orchestras and band concerts. Artists under the Works program make New York a better place in which to live. The Federal Theater Project, which has provided employment for hundreds of professionals, has produced a number of successful plays and entertainments. It has been repeatedly said that new life was injected into the fading American theater by the stage productions of WPA. With the cooperation of various city departments and under the sponsorship of the Crime Prevention Bureau of the Police Department, a number of city streets have been set aside for the use of the children of New York. Safe from the perils of crowded traffic thoroughfares, the youngsters are watchfully supervised by trained instructors removed from relief roles. Every kind of game you could possibly imagine is provided, and at some of the play streets, the children are given handicraft instruction. Civic authorities highly approve these play street projects, which keep the children away from the many dangers of unsupervised play. A new idea in bringing happiness to underprivileged children is the Toyery, which has been established as an experiment at the Heckscher Foundation. The Toyery works just like a lending library. A large supply of toys is kept on hand, and the youngsters are allowed to borrow one at a time. Hundreds of young children find their dreams brought to life in this novel enterprise. In cooperation with the Board of Education, a remedial program has been inaugurated. In this particular class, children who are unable to read fluently are instructed until they may be returned to their regular classes. In Long Island City, a kitchen is operated in which women who are the breadwinners for their families are given part-time employment. Here, school lunches are prepared for children of needy families and distributed to about 800 schools in New York City. Elsewhere, thousands of women have found work in sewing rooms, and hundreds of girls have enrolled in household training courses under WPA instruction. In 20-day nurseries located in 5 boroughs of the city, children of needy or working mothers are provided with hot meals, supervised play activities, medical attention, and excellent preschool training under competent WPA attendants. These nursery schools are part of a broad educational program in which WPA has helped millions of children and adults. In the knowledge that we are providing healthy bodies and sound minds for our future citizens, as well as in the more concrete construction projects, we find assurance that we are building a firm foundation for a bright future. Long after depression is forgotten, these permanent improvements will remain as part of a better New York.
Crazy, right? Y'all understand the BS, the shenanigans. The shenanigans. Hold on. I think I want y'all to see it. One more. One more, and I'm going to get to this one book. Y'all gonna be tripping on this one book. This is another short one, so let's get to it. Check this one out. This is the hometown right here, Chi-Town. This may be one that has a sound issue. We'll see. Some of them don't play the sound. It sounds like, okay, it's coming in. Here we go.
Discouragement, fear, failure. Only a few years ago, these stalked the nation. Depression haunted America. We groped, we struggled, we found the way to better times. Today, depression is a fading memory. Millions of men and women have found employment, and with it, confidence and hope. The Great Works program has removed a vast army from relief roles. It revived lagging industry, restored morale, and renewed courage. In a program which covers the entire nation, Chicago takes an important place. Local conditions determine projects, engineering surveys develop plans, and manpower does the work. In Chicago, street improvements trail behind traffic increase, sewage systems are inadequate for the city's growth. Thus, while thousands find gainful employment, the city's welfare is served. The Works program has assisted in the development of the city's lakefront area, a front yard for 5 million people, a part of Chicago's excellent plan for park improvements. Known everywhere for its scientific collections is the Field Museum. Here, experienced workers, many of them trained specialists, reconstruct animals for studies in biology and zoology. On another front, airport development goes forward. Vital to safety are the longer runways, broader fields, and more efficient drain systems being provided at Chicago's great airport. Adjacent to Outer Drive, which was improved under the Works program, Lincoln Park Extension is being developed as a further contribution to the betterment of the city's great park system. In keeping with the spirit of a century of progress, the site of the World Fair will be rededicated as a vast public domain. Men and machinery will transform this barren land into a magnificent park, whose 5,000 acres will be maintained for the enjoyment of the public. Other parks have also been improved and beautified. This field house serves Wilson Park. Unsightly buildings, dangerous and unsanitary, come crashing to the ground as the Works program clears the way for a great housing project. Named for Chicago's beloved Jane Addams, this housing development will lead the way to better living conditions for families of low income. Almost 1,000 families will find modern apartments at modest rents when this model becomes a reality. A zoo, spacious and intelligently planned, has been completed on the west side. Here, the Broad Works program provided many jobs during construction and continues to furnish work to a staff of employees. The educational features of the zoo are combined with wholesome pleasure brought to both children and adults. The walls of many public buildings and institutions are being decorated by mural painters. Under the Works program, artists, musicians, actors, and writers contribute their share to the cultural development of the community. Death and destruction on the highways, daily repetitions of accidents and collisions have long been a serious problem to Chicago. In cooperation with the Chicago Police Department, 18 service stations have been established with the aid of WPA labor in a campaign to reduce the terrifying motor casualty list. The laws of Illinois require an annual inspection for every car for mechanical defects at one of these stations. Under the supervision of expert mechanics, every safety device is carefully checked for perfect operation. After a final inspection, the official seal of approval is attached to the car, certifying that one more hazard has been eliminated from the highways and another safe car rolls off the inspection line. Chicago fires cost lives and fortunes. The Stockyard Holocaust of 1934 recalls a menace which united men against a common enemy. This grain elevator fire laid waste to a huge industrial enterprise. Within the boundaries of Chicago, last year's fire loss totaled almost $4 million. Fire prevention is underway as hundreds of workers demolish old buildings and tear down fire traps, many thousands of them. Playgrounds and cleared lots will result from this program. Thousands of city children will find places to play and new outlets for their energies. An interesting phase of WPA activity in Chicago is the operation of a group of nursery schools where children of working or needy mothers are cared for during the day, given hot lunches, and guided in their play by trained teachers. The public schools have provided space for many of these day nurseries, and the presence of experienced directors ensures the best of care and training for members of the youngest generation. This is part of a broad educational program in which WPA has helped millions of children and adults. Today's investment promises dividends in future good citizenship. The Works program looks to the future as well as the present. Throughout the city, pools and playgrounds provide jobs for workers in many trades, both in construction and in maintenance. Hundreds of recreation supervisors, once on the relief rolls, now serve their city and their country. In this progressive program, every effort is bent toward enriching the lives of the people and building sound bodies and minds for our future citizens. Long after depression is forgotten, these developments will remain as part of a better Chicago.
Hold on, guys. I gotta find which tab that's on. Okay, there we go. So, do you guys hear and see the shenanigans, the reconstruction, the stories, the plots, the plans, the theatrics, just everything that's set up. Let me show you guys this real quick. I'm not gonna read a lot of this, but I definitely want to show it to you because we were talking about and showing you those native clips, those stories. There's a few more. I didn't want to show too many more, but bless you. There's a few more that shows everything, right? And when you're looking at it, it proves to you that they are all constructed off of actors, actresses. Yesterday, I don't know who saw yesterday. If you guys were in here last night, we were showing as well, and they were talking about the same thing. They were saying how they hired these actors and actresses. They had them coming all over. These are all people that were hired for the theatrics of these plots and schemes and stage plays that they set up all over America to have you play a part of it, mentally being stuck. He just said a minute ago, the last thing they said, building the minds for the future citizens. Building the minds for the future citizens. Basically, letting you know everything that they have done and were doing, the construction, the deconstruction, the derailments, everything that they were doing, that was all for them to reconstruct a plan and a plot for creating the citizens' mindset. They said building the minds. When you're building the mind, that's governing the mind. So that's getting them in the mindset. Exactly. Straight theatrics, sis. Nothing but theatrics. And let's look at some of the people that actually played a part in that, right? These are some of the people. This is a message from the United States, supposedly United States President, transmitting a report from the Secretary of War. Secretary of War, in compliance with the resolution of the Senate containing a list. Check this out, guys. This list is a list of names of several agents of Indian affairs and of the agents of the Indian trading houses with the pay and the allotment of the agents respectively. Let's check this out. April 10th, 1818. This is from April 10th of 1818. Let's see what they were doing back in 1818 with these Indian agents. All right. The Senate of the United States, in compliance with the resolution of the Senate, requested me to cause to be laid before them a list of the names of the several agents of Indian affairs and the agents of Indian trading houses with the pay and the amountment of the agents respectively. I now transmit a report from the Secretary of War, which contains the information that is required. This is from Mr. James Monroe, Washington, on April the 9th of 1818. We also have another statement here coming up, and this statement would be to the Department of War on the 1st of April 1818. The Secretary of War, to whom was referred the resolution of the Senate requesting the President of the United States to cause to be laid before them a list of the names of the several agents of Indian affairs and of the agents of Indian trading houses that were, together with the pay and their amountments of each said agent, has the honor of transmitting the papers A and B, which furnish the information required by the resolution. This was by J.C. Calhoun, the President of the United States. Let's get to this. Now, here's a list of the agents with their salary and what was allowed to each one. You guys want to check this out? Here are the names on this side to the left. Then we're going to look at the salary per annual and the dollars and the rations and pay also that they've received. Let's check this out. I want you guys to just really look at this. If you want to, please take a screenshot so you can share it. We have David B. Mitchell. He was a Creek agent. Now, I want you guys to pay attention to what particular tribe, these tribes, the ones that were paid agents, the same ones that took statehood. Remember, I showed you guys a few months ago about the Indians, the 5 tribes that took statehood and created the fake ass treaties so that they could take over your land and plot and twist and play the games and do all this stuff. You feel me? This is all they've been doing. So check it out. Let's look at some of these names and we're going to see who they is, right? David Mitchell, you're Meggs, you're McKee. Now hold on. Why they name not Running Water and Sitting Bull and not to say our people didn't have these names, right, that they said amongst themselves, but look at these names they got too. We have David Mitchell, he was a Creek agent, got $2,000. We have Mr. Meggs, who was a Cherokee agent, $1,000. We have another Choctaw agent. We don't even say the names. Y'all just see the names, but I'm gonna tell y'all what tribe they are. A Choctaw agent, 1,000. A Choctaw agent, 1,000. A Arkansas agent, a Illinois Territory agent, a Prairie du Chien agent, Natchitoches agent, all paid $1,200. A Chicago Indian agent, $100. A Green Bay agent, 100. Mackinac agent, 1,000. I'm not 100, 1,000. Vincennes, 1,000. Chickasaw agent, 1,000. Lynn in substance. This one had $575 in Lynn of substance. So I don't know what subsistence. I'm not sure exactly what that means. Maybe there was something else in addition that he received or traded due to whatever his job was. Fort Wayne, Ohio. It doesn't say which agent. $750. A Piqua, $750. A Peoria Indian, $800. And this one says Detroit, $500. Fort Madison, $300. Canandaigua, New York, $450. Another a for $8,500. Cherokee Nation, 1,000. Chickasaw Nation, 1,000. Man, a lot of these Cherokees and Chickasaw note. The Indian agents have been allowed rations. Listen, so they got paid and they got rations. They have been allowed rations or money in lieu thereof, in addition to their annual compensation, and in some cases, an allowance was made for a servant and a forage for a horse. So they would get some of them. That's what it was talking about on the side there. Some of them got a horse. Some of them were able to get servants, so on and so forth. All depending on, I guess, on what they wanted them to do for them, in the value. Then they give them what they needed. Hey, if they needed them to travel to get to another tribe that was way across a certain area, of course they're going to have a horse to get there. This is a list of persons employed in the Indian Trade Department with their salary. Also agents. These are all agents. Remember, I told you these are all the Indian agents. Thomas L. McKinney, Superintendent, Indian Trade. He got $2,000. Sibley Factor, 1,000. An assistant, M. Ely. John W. Johnson, Factor, 1,000. Mr. Belt, a 500. Factor, 1,000. All these people, $1,000, $500, so on and so forth. All these people reported to the Department of War. They had to account for the money that they had set aside for the wars. So, wanted you guys to see that. What do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about that? I'm going to show you something else too in a minute. Let me go to the chat right quick. All right, what was the last message I saw? Yes, sister says it all. Crazy how far they go to lie to us. Yes, sis, because they have to set up the orchestrated lies and confusion and the indoctrination, the spellbinding shit. If you know who the hell you are, it's over for them. You know that? They got to make all this a whole extinctive plan, because if not, and you realize who you are, everything is over for they dumb ass. This is why I keep trying to tell you. I keep trying to show you guys to come up out of this shit and take control of yourself and everything that belongs to you, everything that is yours, your bloodline, and your name. These things are so important. So freaking important, right? I'm going to get to another book. Just want to make Empress Awakening pieces. Want to make sure I shout out to everybody. Can you say sellouts for sure? I want to shout out everybody that's coming. You guys know that I appreciate you guys so much. Thanks so much for sharing your energy with me, coming into the chat, always being positive, coming with good information and remarks as well. I have like the smartest people that come in the chat that know exactly what to say and right on point with me. Y'all catch everything with me. When I'm showing y'all not lost. Y'all see what it is. We ain't playing no games over here. We all full of light and energy over here. An awesome group. Sure, let me open the panel, brother. A lot of times I'll drop the link, but people don't jump up, so I don't even think to. So I'm glad you asked. I would love to have some feedback on this. Dwayne. Peace, 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 and bliss. Thanks so much for coming through as well, brother. So I have dropped the link. Anyone want to come up? I'm actually going to get into another document in a second, but anyone want to come up and comment on what you have heard so far? Come right on. I will welcome your comments. It's amazing, right? To see the stuff that we go through, and how we are fooled and tricked and deceived. And Linus Den, peace, sis, peace. I still haven't seen your channel. What's your new channel? You gotta email it to me or tag me in or something, sis. I have not seen anything since they got rid of your channel, so you gotta let me know what's up. Where you at? Yeah, made them rich, brother. Made them rich. Cause see now, first off, they hired up all these people, all these immigrants to come in and deconstruct your land. Once they deconstructed your land, right? Then they had the immigrants to reconstruct it. And a lot of these things they weren't even sure what to do. Like I showed you with the horse and carriage, right? They did not know what to do. They could not do the horse and carriage. I'm sorry, the horse and carriage. They could not have the trains run correctly because they didn't know what they were doing. um, if they did not know what they were doing because they didn't know how to work the natural electricity that we have. We have free electricity. Everything was run, off of energy, free energy, so on and so forth. So when they blew up things, a lot of the information that had been stolen, other people had it, and it wasn't divulged. So they didn't really know how to repair or fix those things. You understand? So since they couldn't fix those things up, they had to make do and reconstruct it the best way that they could. So it took them a little time, to do all of that. I dropped the link for you, brother. If you said you wanted to come up, open the panel, I definitely open the panel for you real quick before I pull this other book up. Come on, come on. Appreciate you, sis. You already know I'll be trying to make sure I get the information out here that I can find. Yeah, that I can present to you. I can tell people things all the time. This, she's just talking. But, when you see it, okay, sis, I'll make sure I look. First sergeant, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So when you can see this for yourself, it's like phenomenal. right? I'm gonna pull something else up for you guys real quick. Hold on a second. Let me make sure this is where we want to start. Um, okay, yeah, just so y'all can see. I'm going to save this for the next build. Oh, okay, hold on. Let me see which one I'm going to pull up. Let the brother up. Dwayne, thanks so much for joining me.
Yes.
Peace, peace, love, and bliss. Thanks for joining. What's going on? What's on your mind, brother? Go right ahead.
Got a little echo going on.
You can hear. Let
Peace
me
and the
mute.
honor. How y'all
You sound
doing?
fine on my end. Hold on. I'm going to mute for you. Hold on a second. Go ahead.
Tested 1, 2, 3. It's like I'm talking to two of you. Yes.
You're probably on the delay, brother. I have it muted, so go right ahead.
What's on my mind because it's right now it's kind of twisted right now with the audio. I'm like a second. I'm 3 seconds behind, but all right.
Okay, brother. Did you? I can't hear anything you're saying. You sound fine. Everyone says you sound fine. So go right ahead. What you were
Yeah,
saying.
I know. I
Go ahead.
know, but I'm hearing myself talk right now. But just want to say that right. I'm just gonna cut out the confusion. Love y'all. Let's hook up. Trust. Like right now, we'll just trust each other. All that other stuff is played out. You know what I'm saying? We know what's really good. We can't get over ourselves. And I can't, I'm just gonna drop that on you and drop that on everybody. LOVE, you know what I'm saying? And trust with the relationship thing and everything. Trust.
Absolutely. You're right about that, brother. I'm actually doing that right now. I'm building up a community. We have a
I'm
private.
like 5 seconds ahead. So
Oh wow.
they don't want, that real haters, real, they really slowing it down. But
Maybe
I
go
just
out and
said
come
that
back
I
in,
said what I
brother, or
said.
make
You're gonna
sure that
hear it,
you
but
have
I'm
the
like
you.
ahead
Listen,
of it.
brother, brother.
I'm
Hello,
ahead
hello,
or
hello,
behind.
hello, hello,
But
hello, hello,
LOVE nice. I'm just gonna
hello,
fall back
hello, hello.
and listen.
Brother, you need to listen. I'm sorry. You need to either go out and come back in because this is too much distraction. That's stuff I don't do. If something is going on, I can't help you technically. So, we can just try this another time. In the meantime, you may need to go out and come back in. You may need to check and see if you have YouTube playing in the background. A lot of times that's what it is. If you have the YouTube playing in the background, it's going to give the echo. There's no way to avoid it. So you have to make sure that you close your YouTube out once you have the StreamYard open, and then it won't be an echo. If you're still having the issue, we will just, have to check it another time. Okay. I'm going to start to share something. Maybe you can try and work on your mic until I take a next break. But yeah, hold on a second. Okay. Peace, sis. Peace, peace.
I say to you in all the chat, how are you?
Awesome, awesome. I'm so glad it's clear for you. I'm like, I know it's not my thing, so it definitely is. He probably had his YouTube open. But how you doing,
Yeah.
sis? Yeah, they done shut your channel down. You make sure we get together, or
Yes,
you at least
fourth
send it to me.
one, like the fourth one, right?
Ooh, they
Yeah, but
on
it,
you.
it bounced back. It bounced back. We just
Yeah, it
put
bounced
out,
back quick.
yeah, we just put out the Thundercat signal. You know what I'm saying? That's it. I just want to salute you. You definitely enlighten the people and what have you. This, we have to understand that this is the fictional United States, the fictional corporation of the United States, and it is trickery. And I know you know that, and I know that as well. And like you said, once the collective, right, gets on this higher level, the higher level frequency wave of thinking, in knowing this, we can reclaim and it's about restitution. It's about the reclaiming, the rest, and the restoring of. And so I just want to salute you. I'm not going to stand up here long. I know you're trying to go through your program and whatnot. I just came up here to salute you. And also, I'm going to put my information in this chat just to let you know. But I could have just put
Okay,
it in the
perfect.
chat.
Sis. Great, great, great. I appreciate you. You already know we got a link. All right,
Okay.
babe. Appreciate you
Thank
for
you.
coming up. Oh, the brother tried to come back. I appreciate you for coming up, sis. You already know you welcome anytime. Anytime you want to jump in, like if I'm doing a bill, just ask me to drop the link and I'll drop the link because I just don't drop it a lot of times because when I do, sometimes people don't pop up and I just don't even think about it. So I just be doing me.
I mean, I greatly appreciate you, sis. You are doing a tremendous job, and y'all just she really is doing. We gotta salute you and give you your flowers, okay? So and
Thank
everybody,
you,
please,
sis.
like and subscribe, to her channel and whatnot, and continue to follow and watch, share. So thank you, sis, for having me up here. That's all I
All
really
right,
wanted to
babe.
say. All right, peace. Let me
All
fall off.
right.
Okay,
Yeah,
peace,
it's an
peace,
honor,
sis.
y'all. Can you
Have a
hear me
great
now?
evening. Brother, yes. Hold on. Yes, the sis was trying to get out. Go ahead. I can hear you.
Yes, she got out. It's an honor, love her. I'm sorry. You know how it's twist up. That was some great advice about, closing my YouTube and stuff like that. But just want to come with all love and stuff. What's come together, you know what I'm saying, as a family with couples, relationships, and trust. It's a big trust thing. I've been trusted for a long time. And I got that energy. Chickasaw tribe, you know what I'm saying? Tennessee, you know what I'm saying? All that stuff. But people know me, but not really though. I've been getting out. I really do this in person. I look out and we show this love. And that's what we got to do. It's just trust. And we cut out a whole lot of confusion because they trying to have us with this technology, 5G, is on us like that. So that was some good advice. And it threw me off with the background music.
Okay,
And I'm
brother,
gonna have to come
hold on,
again.
brother. I'm sorry. I don't like getting distracted, and I can't do it on on this platform. I'm sorry.
It's good.
Let's focus on what was going on with what you watched, the videos. What do you think about the videos?
I'm just gonna send a cash app to you and just keep it. I just the energy, positive energy. I'm just gonna find your cash app, send it to you, and just fall back. Cause I'm working too. I'm slashing these people like the real haters. I'm working. Like I do this in person. And I ain't gonna say
Me as
that
well, brother.
this on the platform. I could get online, but I really do this in present, and they really running. But that's what I'm saying is trust. And I'm just a spiritual
You saying
person
you
from
work with
Chicago.
trust? Just to clarify, because you keep saying the trust, what are you saying? You work with trust? Are you just saying
We
having
gotta
trust?
trust
You
each other.
building?
We
Okay.
trust each other and know that since we're original to this land, we trust. Go back to the old stuff. They just ran a script on us like what 60, 50 years ago.
Yeah,
And
it's
we was
new.
all, huh? Excuse me?
I say yes. It's so new, and a lot of people think this has been going on forever. No, no, no.
Yes. Yeah. And that's it hasn't. They just ran a script. They run a little script on us, and
Mhm.
once we trust and like Bill, like I would jump out and go to Washington if somebody has something. I recently done that months ago, and I was out there. Like I would do that, and I do that, and I always do that. I give out donations. I'm about to send you a cash app, and I'm about to just keep on doing what I do when I get what's been taken. You know what I'm saying? We gonna be decent, but
Put your info in the back, brother. I'll reach out to you.
all right,
We actually are doing
okay.
something now. I have a weekly
Inglewood over
group.
here. I know you from Chicago. It's
Chi-town, yeah, you
Inglewood.
already know.
You know what I'm saying? West side's the best side, but it's Inglewood. But we ain't gonna get into all that right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I grew up around Inglewood with friends. A lot of friends. I went to school in that area as well. Hyde Park. I lived in
Okay.
Hyde Park. Yeah, I lived on 72nd and Exchange by the big country club over there. Oh yeah,
Okay.
those
Yes.
are stomping grounds.
So yes, it's gonna be stomping grounds because it's got a lot of people. I heard they got people coming into schools from other countries and they getting paid. They get a little check. They coming into abandoned schools to set them up until they find them housing. So it's a lot that you know
Yeah,
what I'm
it was
saying.
a woman found in one of those abandoned homes some months back, sometime last year, and it made me think like how many times are there people being held with these places and being sex trafficked? Because Chicago is a big city, and it's a lot of sex trafficking that goes over there, and human trafficking, child trafficking. So yeah,
That right there, that's some yes, that be going on. But and I was saying that people, immigrant people coming from other countries, staying in schools. They opened up probably that Yale school me and Jennifer Hudson used to go to, you know what I'm saying, in third grade. She used to
hmm
walk home. I was quiet and shy, whatever. But you know what I'm saying, probably that school the bandit, and they were housing immigrants there due to the sex traffic. That got to be shut down. All this stuff got to be
yeah,
shut down. Like we don't die, we multiply. We can't be scared. We got people out here, and we look out. We supposed to look out when you hear somebody that's speaking that got that. And you know what I'm saying, the ancestors is over us. Like we support them. We got to do that. We do that and keep it breezy with it because they throwing confusion out. It's really a lot of confusion out, but we got to have that trust. Know that they trying to
that's right.
you know what I'm saying, have us bump heads and stuff like that. And that's what's up. I'm gonna let you get back to your build and stuff. And it's an honor for putting me on. I really don't get on. I be in real life with it. But when I get it set up
We
with
know
the
this.
studio and everything, I could get online and stuff. But I really do this stuff in real time.
Put your info on the back, brother, before you drop off. You know how to get to the back chat.
I'm gonna find it out then. I'm gonna find it out, sister.
You have to do it
So,
before you drop off.
so
Look down. It should be a little thing that says. Oh, let me see. I'll just put my make it easy for you. I'm gonna put my email as well in the chat. Okay,
all right, Star. Okay,
just
Star.
reach out at me. Yeah,
Okay, yeah, and just go ahead. I'm gonna fall back, and I could do other things. I'm gonna listen. We all connected. We
period.
connected. You know what I'm saying?
That's
That's what's up.
definitely facts.
Okay,
All right.
well, carry on. You know what I'm saying? Tradition
You're
and
welcome to stay
LOV
up if you want to.
easy.
I was just gonna pull up a couple more documents.
Okay,
You
yeah,
Yeah, you're fine. It's no rush. I just want to. I didn't want. I want. I like to stay on track, brother. It wasn't you. I know you
yes.
just want to get up here, speak, and say your spiel. I could hear it in you, but the thing messing up, Lord. So yeah, that was fine. But yeah, you can stay up here if you like. I'm gonna get into this read. You know, if you want to comment on some things, you possibly can. This just kind of showing some of the things as well. This is about the immigrants in America, a domestic policy. The most important subject before the American national government today is the adoption of a domestic immigration policy with adequate official machinery to carry it into effect. Our international policy of admission, inclusion, and deportation needs a human constructive supplement for the nationalization of those admitted. Such a domestic policy comprises seven closely related fields of thought and actively which should be welded together, each one now laying in a different sphere of administration and so ignored, belittled, or isolated as to be of small value in the Americanization of admitted aliens. And these include, and before I proceed, I'm going to say this. I want to clarify something for the chat. The other day, as I stated, I heard someone talking about the UN. Oh, the UN, and going to the UN, this, and that. The UN is a part of their structure. Oh, I'm not even showing. I'm sorry, guys. I thought I was actually showing the document. I'm glad I came back to the chat. The UN, guys, is a part of the governmental structure. I want you guys to understand that. I talked to you guys many a times about this Bretton Woods conference. When they did the Bretton Woods conference, the UN was created. The UN was created so that they could use the IIM office, the Indian management, the individual Indian management, the international money funds, the IMF office, collecting all of these different ways so that they can contribute to the corporation of setting up things here using our funding to sit out and incorporate and colonize other fake ass colonies, because y'all know most of these colonies that they have created in these other land masses, right? They created a colony and said that, oh, it was this place, it was that place. Most of these places that we know, these continents, are new. They weren't even established until the 1800s, and a lot of them the 1900s, including, as people have may not even be aware of, Africa being the youngest continent. They keep saying it's the oldest world and we all came from Africa. Well, damn, why does Google tell you it's the youngest continent? Why? Because it was also a colonized plantation. It was not even called Africa. I forgot the name. I just read it in one of my books the other day. It talks about, and it states the name. I'm definitely going to make sure I do a build on this soon. It wasn't even the original name. The place that it was, and them reconstructing time, places, land masses, people, the way that they lived, the soil, corrupting our trees, demolishing everything, planting our things everywhere. As we read last night, what they were talking about, how they took and planted the trees over in these areas. They take everything from America. They say that America is not the old world, but everything comes from here. The entire world has eaten off of the soil, the trees, the landmass of America. Nothing could be built or constructed without America's soil, land, goods, the food, the air, the water. People could not even breathe real life. You guys know that, right? These people, remember, they could not even have sanctity. They had the big stink that could be smelt from a whole nother continent away. That's how funky it was. Pooping, urine, everything in one place, drinking out of the same stuff. Everybody was dying. They were frail. So now it's easy for these places to come in and say, hey, you guys are dying off. Hey, you're not going to have any ancestors soon. Unless you come to America and become Christianized and let us Christianize you and be saved by Jesus and become a part of our colonization. We'll put you on the reservation. We'll put you in our Indian schools. We'll get you back to health. That's why they had to have the health facility, the school, and they also had to have the church because they had to have them mentally. They had to have them Christianized. If they didn't have a Christian certificate, they couldn't come over and be part of the colonization program that put them on a reservation. So they can start pretending to be you, taking your place, taking your social security number, using your parents' and ancestors' names. Yeah, just doing all of this stuff, right? Coming over here and setting up shop to get everything set up for them so that they can figure out how they can create these theatrics. And when we look at all the books, right, what do all the books tell us? Everything was created in New York, Toronto, New Hampshire. Everything's here. Remember the Seneca region being the England area. They try to say New England, but that's the old England. How could it be New England when this is the old world? All of this is the old world. I've shown you guys so many documents. I mean, there's many more. I'll keep showing you guys because I love bringing more information just to solidify this in your mind. Because I know a lot of times you have to really see this stuff. I could say things over and over, but all the documents we've been showing you guys, I'm sure you can understand and comprehend now that, this is all trickery, including the compass being upside down. They tell you your north and your south. They tell you your south and your north. Well, shit, if they made your world upside down by telling you your direction is upside down, what else could be right? Like literally. I mean, you can't get no deeper than that. So now that you believe you're in one place, you're actually in another place because things are kind of twisted in your mind because you're always taught one thing. You're always indoctrinated with another reality. And that's the whole purpose. See, it's a matrix of things that are put in place to have you indoctrinated in your mind so that now you're going on the same path that they are. You're on a certain frequency, right? They've lowered your frequency because, we elevated. We were high on a high frequency. We always lived on the spirit, the great spirit. You always hear the natives or certain people talking about the great spirit. That was an energy. They're talking about the greatest spirit of all, the one that controls everything, energy, ether, the great ether, the most high. There's all these different names of the one true source that we all derive from and we all are a part of and we're all connected through, right? That one true source that if we elevate ourselves and get even higher and higher and higher in our frequencies, we can bypass all of this. This whole entire matrix, we'll be looking at it like, damn, I can't believe I was caught up in that shit. You know why? Because now your mind will be able to be at the proper density so that now you're thinking clearly. You're ratified in your mind with clarifying thoughts, with reality, with truth, with facts, with things that have been confirmed for you and have been verified through your discernment. A lot of this information comes through your light coding as well, right? Because you start coming to the realization and understanding things. When you understand it and you connect to it, that's your electromagnitude. The electromagnitude that actually connects to light. This is the thing that gives you better energy. It helps you to increase your knowledge because once you start connecting and you're magnetizing and you're enlightening yourself with information, then the light coding in your body, it actually intensifies. That melanin starts to heat up. That melanin heats up, it heats up that plasma, it creates that density, and it gives you that aura, the protection that you need to always be around you so that you can fight off these different entities, these different energies, these different frequencies, these different spirits that try to attack you on a day-to-day basis. You have to rise above that. You can't be on a frequency that will keep you low and stagnant. This is what everything is meant to do. It's supposed to keep you that way. It's meant to keep you on a low frequency, a low vibration. You're not able to connect. You're not able to be connected to the source. You're not understanding what's going on. You're having all these different issues and you don't know how to fix this thing. You don't know how to fix this thing. We all go through this, even me. And I'm aware of a lot of this stuff. I have issues, yeah, believe it or not, but I work through them. A lot of times I try to create the manifestation of ways that I don't have to deal with these things, right? You have to manifest your own reality, right? You are the controller. You are the ruler of your particular realm. If you are in control of these things, then you're able to actually produce the manifestation by building the things, right? Using the building blocks, the atoms that you actually put out, writing down things, using your epidextrial strength, the energy that you write with, sorcery, if you want per se, or if you want to call it. You're writing these things down, you're speaking these things out, you're creating the manifestation, the building blocks of life, the manifestation to create, to bring something into existence. This is really the manifestation. You're able to do that literally in your mind. You can create something with your thoughts and start to manifest it, because why? It has to have a thought in order to come into reality, in order to come into existence. It has to be a thought there, that idea. Remember when you're little, they used to have that cartoon and it'd be like a light bulb. Oh, the light bulb just blinked on when the idea or a thought came to the little character's mind, letting you know that idea, that's the energy. Once you give that spark, that's the energy. So now nothing but positive electromagnitude will come to you, because now you've already started the spark. You've initiated the spark, so nothing can happen but it can increase in the flame. So it can increase, it can increase, it can increase, because you are the person that's brought that electromagnetism to life. You are the one that created that stumbling block that was there and knocked it out the way. So now you can start to walk on it and build something from there. So we got to remember this, we're more powerful than anything that's out here, no matter what's going on, all these different things that are coming against us. We just have to go to our correct fortitude. You have to do what? Go into your heresy, find your legacy, make sure you're looking up your family and your land, and, find the things that belong to you. Bless you. Find the things that belong to you and making sure that you are coveting the things that belong to you, that are from your heresy, your bloodline, the things that your family worked very, very, very hard for. It went through a lot of shit for. Let me get to this because I'll keep talking. Y'all know it. I'm going to read a little bit of this and we're about to be out of here. It says direct expeditions, right? And safe distribution of admitted aliens to destinations with suitable train, terminal, and transfer facilities and municipal facilities for directing immigrants within the city, comprising the subject of transportation. The subject of transportation being used to port, being used for transport, for trafficking per se, right? This is all trafficking, human trafficking, all illegal. Security of employment and adequate, coordinated, regulated labor market organization through which admitted aliens may find work and equal opportunity to engage in opportunities by which they may earn their living, comprising the subject of employment. Because how? Now, once they come in and they've set up on the reservation and they set up themselves, now they are able to go to the market and what? Make way by using them on the labor market to create things so that they could take out. Now they start cutting down our trees, which we need for our air, but they didn't care. Cutting down our trees so they could take these trees to these other places, start building homes over there, start colonizing, start fixing it up, doing things of this nature. Now they have an opportunity to pay these people and use funding for this. And where is it coming from? The IMF office, the IIM office. That's the only way the funds from America are. So, they're misappropriately using these funds to even construct what they're setting up on false pretenses under United States corporations, saying that they are a governmental construct. But you are the government. of your own mind. You have to govern your own mental in order to be in the correct state of being, right? Number three, maintenance of America's standards of living by removing of the removal of discriminations in localities, housings, sanitation, overcrowding, rentals, and supplies comprising a subject of standard of the standard of living. Number four, opportunity for intelligent, safe investment of savings and such information, organization, and legislation as will accomplish this, including banking institutions, loan funds, agricultural cultures, and working men's home projects, comprising the subject of savings and investment. Wow, these sound like a whole bunch of different facilities, right? A whole bunch of different agencies. Each one of these agencies requiring funding. Each one of these agencies requiring a particular building so that they can work on. Each one of these agencies requiring labor workers, right? So that's a lot of money just to start a corporation. Why go ahead and start an article of incorporation, certificate of participation, set that up through each state and each township, and now you'll get a certain allotted money to start this project because now you're saying you're building this to build the community, right? But you're actually just building your pocket, off the back of the people and, taking advantage of us. But, we won't talk much more about that. Number five, reduction of illiteracy and advancement of knowledge of the English language and civics. Advancement of knowledge of the English language. Why the English language was being taught here and spoken here forever. So everyone that came here, they had to learn the English language in order to speak, because we had to have the cultivation of the English language because why? We were doing all the trading. Everyone came here to trade. Before a lot of the servitude and everything that was going on, when they're talking about old Columbus came, so on and so forth, we were trading. We were already trading with all different places. The landmass that they talk about, Atlantis, that swamp, that landmass between America and Asia. They were walking over there trading all the time. Genghis Khan came through there. He went through there and built up the whole Asia. He had 20 wives over there, 100 and some kids. Why you think all those Asians was black over there? I mean, come on, y'all. So there's so much going on with these people trying to keep these things from us. It's just so crazy. But our trading was what allowed these countries and continents to be built off of the backs of the people. We're going to read the last two and we're going to get out of here. Number six, hiring more simplified standard and neutralization requirements, uniform state neutralization laws, simplification of processes, and increase of facilities for neutralization and for coordination of educational requirements for the educational facilities constituting the subject of neutralization. National cooperation, number seven. National cooperation in the care of public charges, increased facilities for locating deportable persons, and better coordination of state and national work, constituting the subject of public charges. Locating deportable persons. That sounds like the green, the what do you call it? The green card. They start putting in that new system, remember, because that's part of the immigrants. Because now it's not just the immigrants, it's I'm a grant. Immigrants is I'm a grant. It means that I am a grant for the United States government. I am a participant in this program and in the falsities of what they're creating so that they can steal funds. They are going to be able to use me because, hey, I'm going to go over here and make a better way for me because, hey, there's no place like America and I'm glad to be there. So I don't care about them, using me and so on and so forth and stealing from the people of the land as long as I'm getting my way there. That's kind of what's going on, right? All right, let me check in with my chat. Y'all, we about to get out of here. I'll get back to this another time. Maybe I'll read a little bit more tomorrow if I get a chance to. If not, we will definitely, go over information very similar or like it. There's so many different books I would love to go over sometimes, but I can't keep doing all this reading. Y'all, it gets tiring. It really does. But I appreciate everyone that came in. Dark Gable, peace, brother. First time I seen you in the chat. Peace, peace, and bliss. Peace and bliss. You already know. Everyone else that came through. Sis said it happened here in Texas. They discriminate against us and pushing us out of the neighborhood. Yes, sis, I'm here now in Texas. Oh yeah, I've been going through it here too. It's something else. Something else. They something else. But I be on their ass. I don't play with these. I didn't want to say the word. I don't play with these pale folk. I'm tell you right now, I don't even play. I was smelling like somebody with the booty open with the fan on. It was smelling like something with the booty open. Okay, let me see. Copper colored Libra, well, I expect that they are populating and repopulating America. Yes, that's why they're bringing all these immigrants in. This is what these so-called wars are. Oh, it was such a war. Oh, we got to save these people. Let's bring them to America. Well, shit. They bringing them over here because they want to give them the grant, the immigrant status, the citizen. Remember, they are a grant. They are a grant. Immigrant. It tells you what it is. I'm a grant. Citizen. They sit in a spot. They are the citizens. They are the actors, the actresses, the ones that play a part, the ones the pretendians, the $5 Indians, whatever you want to call them. The citizens. All immigrants are citizens. All immigrants are natives. Natives. Not original to our land. Not at all. Not at all. Oh yes, sis. It get deep, sis. Ooh. Yes, sis. It's crazy out here how they doing us, man. We gotta really be on point and let them know that we ain't falling for the shenanigans. All that nonsense that they be trying to pull, it's like, come on, we too wise for that. We awoke. Appreciate you, brother. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. I do everything I can to make sure you guys are enlightened as much as I can. Whenever I get a moment to talk or get on a platform that I'm comfortable to share on, I am doing that so that I can put this information out, even if I'm pressed down, whatever the case may be. I'm going to continue to do so because I want to make sure you guys are aware, awake, and breaking out of the binds of this construct that they have on your mind, and mental slavery, because lies are slavery. They're the binding chains. I know that's right, sis. Yes, definitely. All right, everybody that came through, I appreciate you guys so much. I usually don't do these late night bills. Yesterday and today just seemed like appropriate. Maybe it's okay, to do this. I don't have to worry about who's live, and if I go live, they gonna think I'm live against them just because I want to do something. People don't always think that you're just doing it for your convenience. A lot of times, unfortunately, we're selfish in our mind because of the way we're taught to think, so people get a little selfish, you know what I'm saying? So the first thought would be, oh, they're doing a bill when I'm doing it, or this, and that. This happened with me and Empress. I didn't even know she was live. I did live one time. Then she's like, oh, snap, this, I didn't know you was live. But a lot of times some people are, they're doing it unconsciously. And, you just have a thought, oh, let me do it live, and I try to pay attention and not do that, or make sure I see no one else is live when I do. And a lot of time that keeps me from getting the information out that I want. So I may have to just stop doing that. I may just have to not worry about what anyone else is doing if I have something I need to talk about, and just get right to it, so on and so forth. Because there's a lot of things I don't get a chance to talk about because I don't have the time. I may even forget. It could be important, but shit, there's a lot of important stuff I want to talk to you guys about, but I don't always have the time. There's not enough time in the day. You know what I'm saying? So I have to make sure that I'm doing everything that I can to try to handle what I need to do and get the information to you guys as well. And then now, when I go on here, I got to work around somebody else's time. You guys know I usually do early mornings. So, that's caught up most of the time, especially with dealing with certain people, dealing with the same people in the Aboriginal community, Indian community. You know, people are used to doing certain things, and it might throw off your time or what you need to do. So what I'm going to have to do is just try to go with my spirit and energy on what I need to do when I have a chance to, because I don't always have the time. I might have time to jump up on someone's panel, but I don't have time to do my own live, because I'm doing 2 or 3 other things. When you do your own live, you got to focus on everything, the chat, what you're sharing, moving the information up and down. It's a little more work when you're doing your own thing. But yeah. Oh, we're definitely not residents. Yes, we're not residents. That's what puts you or locks you into the system so that they're able to contact you via the mail, which is illegal. Yeah, I'm gonna get more. I'll probably post some more things. I'll post some more information about the immigrant stuff on community tab. If you guys have not been on my community tab, man, y'all miss out. I put a lot of good info. Yeah, yeah, Sonny, I got up there to do, oh, turn your camera on, turn your camera. Now, this dude I do not like being on the camera for my own personal reasons. Nothing weird. Um, he got guys up there that turned their camera on and turned it back off, and he gonna try to make it a big deal to try to make me uncomfortable or whatever. I said, oh, he's a fucking weirdo. I said, I definitely went up. He ain't got to worry about me again. And the other day he did something I didn't like. I shouldn't have went up there no way, because he was up there talking about how Islamic people are always downing the women and calling them bees, and oh, you could snatch them up and rape them, all this other stuff. He was showing their videos or whatever. I was up there for about probably a good hour. His lady was up there, and then I remember, I'm like, I was on there the other day, and like he was saying something to her, talking to her all nasty and rude. I'm like, dang, I thought that was the wife or whatever. People be disrespecting her. It's like he kind of allow it. It's like he's really weird. So I'm like, I already knew that wasn't my cup of tea, but they was talking about Aboriginal stuff to do. Ali was on there. I thought it was very interesting because I kind of have seen a few of his things. I don't know him very well, but yeah, they're very weird over there, and definitely not my cup of tea. I definitely will stay away from there. If I get in a chat because of interesting conversation, I will have to chop my hands off and not get up there, because that right there I can't do. I've been told them about themselves. People say I get angry, I'm short tempered, whatever the hell they want to say. It is what it is, because I don't play games with nobody, especially grown ass men. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at on that. But yeah, I appreciate it, brother. Peace, peace, Keith. Peace, brother. Yeah, all that. Oh, now we want to see what you look like. What? I turned the camera on. You seen what I look like? I turned my camera back off. Why I got to keep it on the whole time? What your agent ass doing? You trying to get my what do you call it? My profile, so you can send it in to the cops or some shit, and have me on a watch because I'm talking about certain information against y'all Pan African shit. I don't know what's going on with it, but that's weird the way he turn his camera on. Why you got to have people camera on like that? That's just so freaking rude. Yeah, that shit crazy. they they be in their own head, sis. I don't know what be going on with them. Yes, girl, the dude was just like, I'm like, you know what? Let me just say one little quick thing that I want to say, that we are not natives. They keep all that native. They always, oh, natives, natives, natives. We are not native. Y'all natives, y'all. We not natives, dummy. No, let me stop. We done told y'all many times we're not natives. Y'all doing it intentional. Now it's insulting because y'all pretend to be intelligent, but if you're that intelligent, you would know not to insult a person by calling them something that they're telling you they're not. If I tell you I'm not a native, and I tell you that I'm an indigenous, indigene, American, Indian, one of those, you can call me any of those things, right? But don't call me a damn native. And if you can't comprehend that, something is wrong, right? So at this point, you're being a little bit disrespectful. So yeah, they do way too much, way too much. Well, yeah, looking at me. What's looking at me gonna do? Like what? I'm telling you, it was just weird. That was that evil, nasty ass energy that dude got. He knows I don't like being on the camera, so that's why he was doing that, trying to be rude and shit. He couldn't help it. It was just in him. But he ain't got to worry about me, him and his weird ass, Asian ass. Here, Asian's down. So I just will go over there to talk to a few people. A few people in his chat, they'd be like, oh, sister, so, they chat with me. They appreciate the stuff that I have brought and said over there a couple of times. So, I have come over there because I'd like to get the information out. So while they sitting up lying, telling people stories, I can be in the chat and I can say this, or that, or I can jump up there. But that's not my job. They want to stay over there. He can get as many people as he wants in the chat, and they want to listen to their lives. I'm just let them keep listening to them. I don't care. I'm not gonna listen to their lies no more. Um, I may jump over there here now. I ain't gonna say I'm gonna listen no more, but I'm definitely not a avid fan of that particular show. I was actually doing something. I was just browsing YouTube so I could find something to listen to, and then I saw what they were talking about, made it interesting. But yeah, he definitely is the agent. Yeah, trying to use people face for that fake facial recognition shit. Bitch, if you don't sit down somewhere, I'm sorry, but excuse me, y'all. But yeah, if you don't sit your old behind down somewhere, dude, I done heard stories about you. I done heard stories about the what do you call it? The police badge dropping out his pocket, and when the dude asks him what the hell he doing with it, he gonna say it's his brother's badge. So your police brother let you borrow his badge just to hold it for fun? Y'all playing cops and robbers? I don't know what was going on. Oh yeah, yeah, that's my brother's. That's my bro. That's your brother's word. Okay, let's not talk about that story, son. That way, you want to see people's face. I want to see if he still got that damn badge. Don't let me get to it, because I don't care what y'all do. I don't really say nothing about nobody in these communities. I don't talk too much about these people because I don't care. I don't care. Exactly, sis, a native. Y'all natives, y'all Native Americans, and yeah, they be doing that shit on purpose. They think that shit is cute. They really do think it's cute. And ain't nothing cute about it. It's nothing cute about it. Very insulting, very rude, very disgusting of you ignorant old grown ass men that want to continue to play games with grown ass people like they ain't grown. Yes, sis, I got a mouth. You know that's the shy town, and you can't help it. You got to make sure you got the comeback. Yeah, playing cops and robbers. Him and his brother playing cops and robbers. Oh, he just let me hold the badge for today. I just want to pretend and perpetrate and shit like that. Yeah, yeah, we know. You guys, I love you guys. You guys are awesome. I will do, some of these later bills here and there because I actually enjoyed yesterday and this evening. Today was this evening was a really good build as well. Definitely wanted you. Yes, sis, you don't want to listen to me, ain't nobody. I just listened to them because the Aboriginals had went over there about a month or so ago, and I went over there. I did a small build on there on some information, bust them down. They couldn't say nothing about the info. Of course, you already know, shut them down. And yeah, that was about it. Yes, don't want to hear them, sis. Yeah, trying to mock us, sis. Trying to be funny. Trying to be funny, dude. Go on somewhere with that. Yes, they got rid of them, sis. Them tunnels is gone. The last one that I know of was that Russia and Ukraine war when they blew up Biden's tunnel that him and his son had been using over there for the traffic and threw it out the water. Yeah. All right, guys. Peace, love, and bliss. You guys are everything. Yeah, me too, Kimbo. That's the only reason I was over there. I seen him up there. I was like, oh, that's that dude. I seen a couple of his little videos before. I said, that's that dude. He's a Aboriginal. He's on the health like I love. So I really wanted to hear what he had to say. But yeah, that's about it. That's about it. All right. Peace, love, bliss to everyone. You guys have a great rest. And until tomorrow, wake up and give everybody hell that ain't doing what they supposed to be doing and don't be in the right spaces. Make sure y'all giving them hell. Send them right where they need to, right to the pits. Shut them down with some truth, very nicely too. Sometimes you talk real nice and you can give somebody some truth and stuff. They really listen intently, and then it's like, dang, they can't say nothing because you're so kind with that truth. And then it's such facts that they don't have anything to come back with. That's what I like to do sometimes. But yeah, yeah. Peace, love, and bliss, guys. You guys are awesome. You are the best. And I am out. Until next time. Peace.